What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Run with Jay channel. So today we have another shoe review of the XTEP Ultra Fast 2.0. So many people might have never heard of the brand called XTEP, but they're founded in 2001. It's a Hong Kong based sporting goods company. They make products for pretty much any type of sport. Notable athlete that's endorsed the brand is Jeremy Lin. If you guys watch the NBA, he played for the Knicks and the Houston Rockets, but they do make a lot of running shoes as well, from beginner level all the way to marathon racing shoes. So the XTEP Ultra Fast 2.0, I guess, would be their mid-tier kind of shoe that you could use for pretty much any type of run. So in this video, we're gonna take a look at this shoe, review it, and see how this shoe compares to other shoes on the market, and see if this is worth your money. So if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. Please hit that like and subscribe button as well as the bell for notifications. And to all of my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your contribution and support. So let's get this review started. So XTEP does make shoes at all different price ranges as well as purposes. So they do have basic walking and running shoes that are maybe under $50, and then they do have the high performance marathon racing shoes that are like $240, like the 160X or the 160X Pro. Those shoes look like a beast. They are typical high super stack foam with carbon fiber plates, and I'm very curious to check out those shoes. They seem to be very well made, and a lot of people have set records in those shoes, so that's something that I want to check out as well in the future. This shoe, the Ultra Fast 2.0, is not, if you're looking for a max cushion shoe, that's probably not going to be it. It's more of your mid-range kind of do-it-all type daily runner shoe. So we're going to take a look at the specs for this Ultra Fast 2.0. So this shoe weighs at about 8.8 ounces for a size 7.5. I'm usually 8.5, so I had to go down a full size to 7.5 to fit the shoe. The shoe runs a little bit long in my opinion, but the midfoot and the forefoot does feel more locked in, so I didn't have any issues there. If you have wide feet, you might have to be aware that this might be a little bit tight on you. I don't believe they have a wide version of this shoe yet available, but my small toe was protruding out from the top of the shoes, so I mean it didn't feel uncomfortable, but I can just imagine if someone had wider feet that it might be a little bit uncomfortable for them. The offset of this shoe is pretty standard. I don't have the exact measurements from the company, but it feels like it's about 8 to 10 millimeters offset. And overall, I feel like this shoe is a nice looking shoe. It's designed well. It's got some nice colors. There's different colorways for this shoe as well as a black and white version. But overall, it looks fast. It looks like it's made for running, and you can definitely even maybe in my opinion do races in this shoe as well. It's got cool looking design with the bottom of the exposed plate and a nice looking cutout, kind of like the Adios Pro a little bit. So I really like the design of this shoe, and overall I think XTEP did a really good job with the Ultra Fast 2.0. So this shoe is made up of a few important components. You have the jacquard mesh upper, which is nice and breathable, as well as water resistant. It's got a nice sheen to it. So when I was running in rain, it didn't really get soaked super fast, so that was a pretty good surprise. It's got a padded tongue as well as a padded ankle area, which is pretty comfortable. And laces are pretty standard. It's got a heel tab in the back of the shoe as well as a heel counter in the back of the bottom for support and stability. In the midsole, you have the EVA feather foam, which is supported by this plastic X-Force plate or plastic plate for stability and support. And then on the bottom, you have another layer of that foam to give you the extra cushion, comfort, and responsiveness. And on the bottom, you have this really rugged rubber outsole with the triangular pattern that looks like it could last for hundreds and hundreds of miles. After runs in it, I can barely tell that I've actually used the shoe, so the rubber on this is definitely durable, and I didn't have any issues with slipping. And you can see the exposed plate on the bottom of the shoe, which is pretty cool as well. And in the front of the shoe, you have the reinforced rubber, for the toe area for durability. And the shoe comes with also a removable insole, what they call the soft pad cool, which is supposed to keep your foot cool while running. It's got this honeycomb memory foam looking insole, which is pretty nice. It did keep my foot, not warm while running, so I guess it does the job. But it's nice and removable, and it definitely looks better than some of the insoles that I've seen in other shoes. So first run in this shoe is definitely a soft and comfortable ride. And initially, it was a little bit stiff, but that soon loosened up after you put a few miles in it. And for some reason, I don't feel like this shoe doesn't really like slower paces, or it does handle it well, but I feel like it's a little bit too stiff in my opinion. If you're just going, very slow paces. But once I picked up the speed, that's where the shoe came, to life. The foam itself, is very soft and comfortable, as well as the upper of the shoe, so I didn't have any issues with that. Did have some minor heel slippage, but then I retied my laces and that kind of went away. Didn't have any issues with the Achilles or rubbing or anything like that, or hot spots or pain in my toes. So overall, everything else was very comfortable. So, I feel like this shoe is meant for a little bit quicker paces, but you can definitely do normal slow paces on this shoe as well. But in my opinion, I've, much favored the shoe performance when I was going a little bit faster. So the shoe is, I think, capable of handling some tempo pace runs, as well as, your occasional daily runs or even long runs. Like I would say, like a do-it-all kind of shoe. So one would think with the cutouts of the foam that you would have stability issues with just the TPU plate in the middle holding the shoe, but I didn't have any issues with cornering or instability, I guess, with the shoe. It felt pretty stable for me, at least a comfortable ride. Did feel somewhat flat a little bit, especially at slower paces, which is essentially why I picked up the paces. It went a little bit faster in the shoe and it felt a little bit better. Some people, who prefer the feel of the road might like this shoe, as opposed to a person that's looking for a max cushion shoe. The shoe might not be for you. It does have a lot of foam and cushion in itself as well, but I feel like if you're looking for, a shoe that's, for marathon racing, for like the super high stack cushion shoe, this probably isn't for you. It's stiff enough where you can feel the road, but it's not so cushioned where you could, you basically feel like you're running on foam. Since I ran with the shoe in the rain, I was able to test the water durability of the shoe. Surprisingly, the shoe didn't get as wet as I expected it to. The Jacker mesh, although it's breathable mesh, comfortable, it held water up pretty well. The only problem I had was at the toe area where the water kept on pooling up from your steps, and which is pretty common for running shoes. If you're running in the rain, and turned black a little bit, but I was able to wash it up. But other than that, the held the water pretty well. The entire shoe did not get wet, as opposed to some other shoes where it's just like a mesh upper, where it's kind of like cotton material. This has some shiny sheen to it, which I guess helps with water resistance. So it kind of shed some of the water away, and the shoe wasn't completely soaked after a run. So overall, I think this UltraFast 2.0 is a very affordable daily trainer that you could use for pretty much any type of run. At the price range of $75, there's pretty much no other shoe in any other brand that I can think of that probably match it in terms of features and functionality. The shoe feels very comfortable. It's kind of, reminds me of the Pegasus. It's got a lot of padding around the ankle area, the tongue, as well as the upper jack or mesh upper feels super comfortable as well. You could use it for fast tempo paces or even regular daily runs or long mileage runs as well. For tempo runs, I definitely think you can use it. It's got the plastic plate in there to give you some extra speed and responsiveness. So I picked up the paces in this shoe as well, and it definitely kept up. I wish this shoe could be a little bit less stiff. It feels kind of rigid in my opinion, but definitely after a few miles of breaking the shoe in, it definitely felt a little bit softer, more flexible. The outsole is very good. I ran in the rain and I didn't have any issues with slippage, and from the looks of the material of the rubber, it looks like the shoe can last at least 200, 300 or 400 miles without any issue. The shoe is built solid, and for $75, which is probably one of the best advantages I can think of this shoe, that's really hard to beat in terms of other shoes in the market. The Pegasus is about $120, so that's almost $50 more than the shoe. And then this brand usually has sales in all of their shoes as well. So if you want to check out their shoe lineup, you can take a look at their website. But overall, yeah, I think this is a great daily trainer option for people maybe newer runners looking to get into running but aren't sure of what kind of shoe they want, since there's so many options out there. For $75, you can't really And it's not really that big of a risk. They have a great return policy as well if you don't like the shoes. A great shoe for someone looking into getting a pair of daily trainers, or someone new into running that wants to, get a shoe that kind of do it all and kind of get a feel of, just running without having to shell out a ton of money for, expensive running shoes. So definitely a nice intro shoe as well, but you could pretty much use it for anything. And for serious runners out there that are not familiar with the brand, I highly recommend you checking out the 160X Pro version. The shoe looks like a monster, huge stack height of foam. Definitely a shoe to check out, and I'm really curious to try that shoe out later as well to see how it works for marathon racing. Because it looks like one of those Adidas Prime X shoes with a huge amount of foam, so it's definitely an interesting looking shoe. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you guys have any comments, feedback, or questions regarding the shoe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys are running New York City this weekend, I wish you good luck. I'll be in the group of 33,000 people, so maybe I'll see you guys there. If not, I hope you guys are staying safe and your training is going well, and I'll talk to you guys on the next run.